Good afternoon, everybody. How's everybody doing? We're almost there, almost there.
Why? Maybe I was looking at something else.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll still go ahead and I'll just keep an eye out for the participants list because I know some people they can still add it to their schedule and still come into the session. So I'll still go and look before we actually do the wheel of names at the end.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Aloha, everybody. Thank you for joining. I'm Vi. I'll be your moderator for today's session with Tracy, Nikki, and Jenny. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can put them in the chat. I'll be looking at the chat throughout the presentation while they're presenting. And yeah, ladies, I'll go ahead and keep adding them in as they come in if more do. But if you guys are ready, you guys can feel free to get started.
Thank you, Vi. Can you start the presentation? Well, welcome everybody. I see a lot of familiar faces and names. So we have a presentation for you, but I think the highlight will be the reading of the book. I know some of you are already familiar with the book, and some of you may not be. So this is Using Books to Strengthen Families. And I'm Tracy Robello, and I'm here with Jenny Coon and Nicki Barsamian with Waikapu Publishing.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here.
And we will introduce ourselves a little bit more in the next couple slides. So next slide, Vi. So these are our learning objectives. So we'll talk a little bit about the collaboration process of creating a book for Maui families. So this book just came out in July, right, ladies, of 2002. Very, very new book. And then we'll talk about the importance of books reflecting diverse families, using books to engage conversations and positive family interactions. And this will be with the read aloud. And then we'll connect it to the protective factors. Next slide. And then who we are. So I will let Jenny, you want to go first?
Sure. Aloha, everybody. My name is Jenny Coon, and I've lived on Maui since 2009 and met a local boy here. And we've now been married 9 years, and we have 2 daughters and a son on the way. I kind of stumbled into creating books during COVID. My daughter was 3 years old, and she started rhyming about a chicken, and I thought, gosh, this is kind of cute. All these different rhyming words, and just learning how to rhyme in general is a good building for our education. So I said, what if I put together a little book about your chicken? So I did. I wrote a story, and then Nikki, we both go to Waipuna Chapel in Kula. All I knew about Nikki was that she was an art major and taught at Kamehameha schools art. And I said, Nikki, have you ever illustrated a children's book before? Do you want to illustrate a book with me? The story I wrote for my daughter. She's like, yeah, sure. I've never illustrated a book. Let's do it. And so we created 2 children's books about Huli, the Hawaiian chicken, that are colorful and really fun. The second one you can pick up at any Ululani Shave Ice on the island. And Tracy found us for this book. So that's a little bit about me. Can tell a little about you.
Sure, yeah. Aloha, my name is Nicki Barsamian. Yeah, Jenny gave me a little intro. But yeah, so I'm from Maui. My family's here. I was part of the first graduating class and then left for school, came back, and I was that focused on Maui. We both live in Waikapu, hence Waikapu Publishing Company. And so it was really fun to kind of feature our neighbor, Nohoana Farms and
Nikki, you're cutting out a bit.
we,
Did you freeze?
you know, we use their
Oh, no.
property as part of as like Huli's house.
Hey, Nikki.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Now
Can
we
you hear
can,
us
yes.
now?
Yes.
Hello, hello, hello. Better?
Okay, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
Different
missed
part of
almost
the property.
everything Nikki said from first graduating something.
Okay, yeah. Just that. Well, yeah, I was a part of Kamehameha first graduating class and left for college, came back to Maui, and was teaching art at Kamehameha. So it was a fun way, just meeting Jenny and having her bring me on board for this project was a really fun way to, I think, just showcase visually our community, because our chicken lives in Waikapu, and hence our Waikapu Publishing Company. So just a fun way to sort of include like a really local part of where we live and, you know, make connections with families. You know, how many books are there about a Waikapu chicken, you know? So just a fun way to be, you know, just focus on our home.
So we got the books in the libraries. We had a website. We pulled in nonprofits for both the books that we wrote. The first one was for Maui Cultural Lands. Second one was Imua Family Services, and had our website launched. And that's kind of how Tracy found us. Was I think it was through the Amazon link to purchase our book, and then our Huli book, and then she said that Maui Family Support Services was looking to get more books focused on Maui, and asked if we would be interested in this project. We said yes. Tracy, do you want to share a bit?
Yeah, so actually, you know, my memory got refreshed attending this conference again, because it was actually attending the Ho'oikaika conference last year
Oh,
that stimulated the idea of, oh, how can we get a book for Maui?
yes.
So kind of this is where it started with the Ho'oikaika conference and some of the things we were
Wow.
talking about at the conference, and with the cultural connection there. So yeah, this is the beginning of it. And then, so a little bit about myself. So I grew up on Oahu, and way back when on Oahu, so I have 3 children. I have twin daughters who are in their 30s. My son just made 30 this month. I used to work for the Learning to Grow project at UH Center on the Family at Manoa. And with the Learning to Grow project, we had a component called the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. So in 2005, I came to Maui from Oahu to launch that project on Maui. Maui was one of our pilot areas for the Dolly Parton Imagination Library in 2005. So in 2005, I was at the Maui County Fair trying to launch and get interest for the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. This is where I met my husband. He had a table next to me at the fair.
Aww.
And then in 2011 is when I moved to Maui and have been here since then. And so anyway, that's how my husband, I had to share with you guys, that's how I met my husband. It was through books. Isn't that interesting? So that's how I can
brings families together, right?
yeah. So my husband is a Makawao boy, so I live up in Makawao in Maui. And yep, that's how I found Jenny and Nikki trying to find culture related books. So I think we can go to the next slide. Bye. So with the collaboration process, so with the early literacy project I'm on, we wanted a book that embedded the early literacy strategies, such as dialogic reading, which is talking about the pictures, and phonological awareness, having rhyming text. We wanted someplace local and using place-based learning and culture, and representing diverse families doing what Maui families do. So this is where I approached Jenny and Nikki. Oh, you guys did a book about in Maui already. Would you be interested in doing something? And this is where we got together. And I'll let them talk to you a little bit about how it became Huaka'i O Maui.
Yeah, so it was really fun for us to work with Tracy because before our books we had me being a former educator, we had layers of education sort of embedded in the book, like we had a scavenger hunt for native species, and we had some just just visually referencing places and Mauna Kea and fun facts about Big Island for our second book. But it was really fun to work with Tracy because it challenged us to incorporate these literacy tools and skills within the text of the book, but then also to draw on culture, Hawaiian language, local culture, local language, within our book, and create something that was something. And the other beauty is that we have, between the two of us, we have 2 0-year-olds. We're actually both hapai right now. We have 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old. And that really was the target range for this book for ages. And so it was right up our alley. We felt like, wow, well, this is exactly what we are trying to teach our own kids. And we have a great little group here that we can do our studies with, our own families. So so Huaka'i O Maui is Maui Island only. And basically what we did is we sat down together, we brainstormed, well, what do we do with our own ohana? What do we do with our own keiki? Where are the places we go as Maui families? We had to narrow it down a lot. We tried to incorporate most of the geography of Maui Island, not Maui County. We didn't get Lanai or Molokai on there, but and also working with Maui Family Support Services for our nonprofit to keep it community minded. So and so every page as you'll see during the read aloud, we have a different site on Maui that's family friendly, specifically for the 0 to 5 age range. And then also we have a kilo, and kilo is the Hawaiian word that basically means to, use your surroundings, observe, explore, and try to sort of learn just from observation. So we have a little kilo, and that kilo is where we embed the dialogic reading, the phonological awareness, the culture, the questions, and we incorporate a Hawaiian color on every page. So we really try to pack a lot in this little book, but still keep it accessible to a younger audience, which that was our big challenge. But yeah.
Anything else to add, Jenny?
Just touching again with, it's important for us. We feel like this has been an enormous blessing to have this project, to work on this with Maui Family Support Services, that we want all of our books to be giving back to the community, back to the island. So for this third book, like I mentioned earlier, the first 2 books, we give a portion of proceeds to Maui Cultural Lands for the first, and Imua Family Services for the second. It only made sense that for this third book, a portion of our proceeds at the end of each year are going to go to Maui Family Support Services, because we're so grateful that they contacted us to create this for them.
And we so appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, next slide. So being with Ho'oikaika conference, we have to talk about the protective factors. I know some of you are more familiar than others about what the protective factors are. So just for an overview or review, these are the protective factors: knowledge of parenting and child development, parent resilience, social connections, concrete support for families, social and emotional competence in children, nurturing and attachment. So when we do the read aloud, kind of keep these things in mind and see if you see it within the book. And then we can go to the next slide, which has a really short video. I think it's about a minute or so.
We need diverse books because we need books in which children can find themselves, see reflections of themselves. I wrote a piece, maybe 1990 it was published, which I called Mirrors, Windows, and Sliding Glass Doors. And I think that's really why children need to see themselves reflected, but books can also be windows, and so you can look through and see other worlds and see how they match up or don't match up to your own. But the sliding glass door allows you to enter that world as well. And so that's the reason that the diversity needs to go both ways. I mean, it's not just children who have been underrepresented and marginalized who need these books. It's also the children who always find their mirrors in the books and therefore get an exaggerated sense of their own self-worth and a false sense of what the world is like, because it's becoming more and more colorful and diverse as time goes on. So I think that's why.
So she's a kind of famous person that writes about, everybody kind of quotes her on this mirrors, windows, and sliding glass doors, and about including diverse books. And so if you go to the next slide, I think we have a poll for you to answer some questions about diverse books. And so some of the questions are, should books reflect diverse families? Oh, there we go.
Can you
We'll
see the
give you
poll okay?
Can you guys all see it?
Okay.
We'll give you a couple minutes to answer those questions. Okay, I could see the results. So a lot of people said, can you guys all see the results too? So
I think they can. Well, once I end the poll, then I can share the results. I think just
oh, this is
Nicki,
ongoing.
Jenny, yeah, for you, and only us can see the results right now until I
Oh,
end the
okay.
poll. Yeah. think there's just one more person that might be finishing up the poll, and then I can end the poll, and then we can go over the results for you folks.
Okay.
Or if you want me to end the poll, I can do that too.
Yeah.
Whatever works. You want me to go ahead and end them?
Sure.
Okay. I'll end the poll and then I'll share the results. Can you see the results?
Yep.
Okay.
Can everybody else see it? Can you guys all see it? So number 1, strong yes. Books should reflect diverse families, but do they? There's kind of a half and half for number 2, some unsure. And then 3, do you have books in your program? A lot do, some don't, some not sure. And what are the main barriers? Do we know what that open-ended, or do people, we're such a small group, do people want to say what they put for that?
Let's see if I can open it up. I'm sorry, I thought it was going to show the answers because it was a short answer response, but
Yeah.
I can also save the results for you folks too, Tracy. I can
Okay.
save all of them. Yeah, and it should be on the Excel, but I'll work through them.
Does anybody want to shout out or put in the chat? What are some of the barriers?
I put diverse authors. I feel like there's a need for more diversity as far as authors who are in the field writing books for our families and our children.
So how do we get more authors? Right? We need more local authors. Limited funding, I see.
Yeah.
Because Jenny and Nicki, this wasn't a huge moneymaker. You're not making money off writing these books, right? I mean, they kind of did it. I know a lot of it is a labor of love because when you see the illustrations, you know, it's artwork and it takes a long time to do those illustrations and then the text, right? To go with the illustrations.
Yeah, it takes
So diverse.
time,
Go ahead.
energy, passion, and no, keep going.
I see, I'm looking at the chat. Awareness of issues related to diversity, a way they can access books through stories and colonial worldview and scripts, access to books that are low cost. So that's the good thing about our early literacy project with, you know, the funding I'm on with my early literacy project and my partners, because we're purchasing it all to give to the at-risk families. So that's a start of it anyway. Culture barriers, availability of books. Yep, different topics. Thank you, everybody, for answering that. That's very helpful. Do we want to go to the read aloud now?
Yep, I'll get that ready.
Okay, so we're going to go to the read aloud while Bai is getting that up. Okay, I'm going to review protective factors, knowledge of parenting and child development, parental resilience, social connections, concrete support for families, social and emotional competence in children, nurturing and attachment. So see if you see that in the book. And I don't know if Nicki or Jenny is going to start, but can you talk about the title a little bit and how you came up with Huaka'i?
It was actually the last piece of the puzzle for us, and it usually is. So yeah, what title, what's just a couple words that can encapsulate this book that we had just poured over and created for the families of Maui. And we came across the word Huaka'i, which in Hawaiian means a journey, a trip, a voyage. A lot of the schools that embed Hawaiian language, elementary schools on island, will use Huaka'i in place of field trip to talk about going on a field trip with their class. So we said, well, that is perfect. That is what this is. This is a journey through the island of Maui with families. So Huaka'i O Maui is a field trip through Maui. And it's an island guidebook for families. And that's our hope. Truly for me, especially, I feel that my biggest accomplishment with this project is that families, local families that live here will pick up the book, they'll read it, they'll be reminded of how many beautiful places there are to visit, free activities there are to do, to get their family out of the house, having quality time, togetherness, making memories, making experiences together, new experiences together.
Mm-hmm.
So Huaka'i O Maui, an Island Guidebook for Families is the title. And on the back, because right now what you're seeing is the front cover on the right side, the left side's the back cover. And that's kind of our summary of the book and what you can expect. So it says, aloha and a komo mai. We are the keiki of Maui, your local island guides. So sidebar here, it's through the lens of the children that we wrote the book. So they are the guides. We're off on a Huaka'i, an exciting trip, a journey through Maui you won't want to skip. Together we'll kilo, observe and explore our beautiful island from summit to shore. We knew you'd like to learn something new. Each page has a color in Hawaiian just for you. Mahalo nui loa and a hui ho na keiki o Maui. So we can go to the next slide, but the color thing was important for me. And Nicki, we were thinking, gosh, these kids, they live in Hawaii, and this is the age that early literaries see, age 0 to 5, to learn their colors in Hawaiian. And no better time than when they're young and they're absorbing so much. Their minds are like sponges. So that was important. Every slide or every page has a Hawaiian color. And we wrote out the color in Hawaiian so they can practice saying it, familiarizing themselves with it.
Yeah, the phonetic pronunciation of the colors.
Yeah. So here we go.
Okay, you can go next slide, bye. All right, so over Haleakala, the mele mele sun rises high. As we begin to await, light floods the sky. You want to do?
You can do it.
Okay, so yeah, the kilo in this is, can you break up the word Haleakala by its sounds? Hale-a-ka-la. Hale house, ka, the, la, sun. What, and then asking the, your keiki, this is the dialogic reading, is what do you think the word Haleakala means? So trying to piece it together.
So here, just the education embedded in this page, we know that the sun rises on our island specifically. It rises every morning over Haleakala. So for them to learn, mele mele means yellow. Haleakala, what does it mean? House of the sun. And where is the sun rising? Every morning when you wake up, it's over Haleakala.
Yeah, and it's another question, like for the parent, is we don't actually ever say mele mele, not until the back we have like a little index, but we don't say in the text mele mele is yellow.
Right.
So it's using this, embedding the language within the text as a means for them to just practice inference. Mele mele, it's in text is yellow, but what is mele mele? Over the mele mele sun rises high. What does mele mele mean? So just trying to have those conversations. They're all, it's just embedded there. So there's lots to talk about.
As well as the silver sword only grows in the crater in Haleakala, and the nene goose is like the only animal, the most common animal you're going to see up there. Again, embedding more and more for that conversation, hopefully that be happening with the reader and the keiki. Next page. At Ulupalakua Ranch, cows moo and horses neigh as Paniolo tend their herds under a brilliant Inue. Kilo, can you point to the Paniolo and what do they do? Tracy, it was awesome. We were coming up with our list. Okay, what's going to be in this book? What locations? Is it well-rounded? Are they, capturing all over the island, all the different spots? And Tracy said, we need to have something about ranching, because ranching is a huge part of the history of the island, and there's still thousands of acres of ranch land on Maui today. And so thank you to Tracy, we have Ulupalakua Ranch in the book. And my kids didn't know Paniolo until the kilo. Can you point to a Paniolo? I said, no, what's that? So talking about the cowboys, that special name given to them, the Portuguese that came over here to tend to the herds on horseback.
See,
And
that's
they
my
love-
husband's influence. That's my husband's influence from Makawao. He's Portuguese, so his family is cowboys. That's the influence.
And I told my daughter, oh, Paniolo, well, that means cowboy. She goes, doesn't it mean cowgirl? Look down the cowgirl. I said, yes, you're right. Cowgirl and cowboy. You can do the next slide.
So a country we pick pumpkins in the fall and admire rows of sunflowers for 10 feet tall. Hula Country Farms grows lots to eat. Their ula ula strawberries can't be beat. And this is what do you see that grows? So this is a fun one to do. At least my girls are 2 and 4, and they could probably spend 10 minutes talking about the things that grow. There's my 2-year-old loves the turtle, and strawberries and the butterflies and the chickens and the jacarandas and there's just they go, and then even the keiki themselves. So having a few different ages represented here. Keiki grow as well, and so it's kind of a little bit more open-ended for them.
Hula Country Farms is wonderful. Everyone goes to their pumpkin patch each year. And they will have this book for sale there. And they're
October. But yeah, they're just a local company that's super excited and very kid friendly. They have their whole keiki exploratory garden, and they have the chickens and the miniature horses, and it's all free, so it's just, you just go there, and it's a wonderful way to spend, a morning or an afternoon with ohana. So
yeah,
cool off from the Waikapu hot sun.
And supporting local. And I love that they can pick, anywhere else on island, you can pick fruit. I love that the kids can run through the strawberry patch and pick their own little box of strawberries. They're fantastic. Yeah, there's had to be in the book. So that's Hula Country Farms. Staying up country at the Oski Rice Arena, crowds cheer as the Paniolo rope and ride. We enjoy seeing the Maku'e horses galloping side by side. Lots of little keiki are involved up country at the arena, and their little Paniolo. It's precious. And we thought, gosh, we need to include these kids and what they do. It's unique, roping and riding. And the kilo here was what things on this page rhyme with cat. So it's not easy. We don't tell you all the answers, but it's amazing. With your keiki, they start citing real fast. Nicki's excellent illustrations. But we do have, maybe we open it up. Anybody want to see what on this page rhymes with cat? You can put it in the chat or on yourself. There we got. Bat.
Yes.
Oh, someone saw
Rat.
the bat.
Someone saw the rat. That one's hiding.
Hat. Yep.
Hat rat. You
have a fat rat on the back of this boy's t-shirt. The mat, the Lauhala mat. Yes. And yeah, so that's our little journey through upcountry. Yeah, rat horses strap.
Oh,
good one.
Yes. Yes. I don't know if we had thought about before.
I don't think I did.
Fantastic. All right, thank you for your participation. All right, now we're moving down country.
In the heat of the day, we cool off in Iao stream. The A'i water is refreshing and feels like a dream. So what do you see that is big? What do you see that is small? And so, yeah, so this is another fun one, just to see what the kids associate as being big and small, because they're kind of relative terms. So, it's about relationship and recognizing relationship between objects and people, and, yeah, just a little of that, but so it's good.
Oh, sidebar. The cat sat on the mat, love it. Thank you. Yes.
Under the
that's
bat.
right, under the bat. That's for the bat.
Dr. Seuss.
Wearing a hat. Yeah, the rhymes are great. One thing to note too with the book, we forgot to mention at the beginning, fun little fact, is that there are animals on every single page because kids love animals. So this page, there's a little myna birds up in the tree, but as we continue on, just notice little animals that Nicki included. Local.
My 2-year-old, they just love animals. I feel like they relate better with animals than they do people. So
Totally.
looking for their animal friends. But yeah. Okay.
So ai, clear. That's what that word is. At Maui Tropical Plantation, there's lots to explore with rows of fruit trees and pineapples galore. We feed the pond animals and watch them scurry, except for the Alani koi fish, who are never in a hurry. Kilo, what kinds of animals do you see? What sounds do they make? The tropical plantation is such an excellent spot to take young kids. Feeding the animals are such a diverse group of animals that are there, that are friendly, that, the roosters walking right up to the keiki, the ducks, the fish, they all, want to eat.
There's
And
nene there now, which is really neat. They got probably about 5 or 6 nene that are there every day.
And another fact that we wanted to embed in the text is there are rows of beautiful fruit trees like plumeria, pineapple, banana, coconut, and that's something that's really fun to walk the property and see all of the farming.
They do a great job labeling all of their plants, so even as you're walking up to the pond, it's fun doing a little scavenger hunt with your keiki and saying, oh, look at that sign. That's, and just talking about the names of plants and giving them that vocabulary. Because even at 2, they like want to know the names of things. We were like, there's zebra doves and there are, those are egrets and those are, just giving them that language, and they're sponges. So giving them that opportunity.
The next slide.
So the Kalama Park playground is the best. From sliding and swinging to swinging, there's no time to rest. At the Kihei Cove, we surf and boogie board on those ki'o waves. We really soar. And the kilo on this is what in this picture starts with an S.
We're going to open that up to the chat.
Hey, you guys are good at this. You're better than we are.
Personally, this is my favorite kilo of the book. I just love watching the kids' brains just start to take in and make that sound.
Yeah. Stroller. Shoreline.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Stroller.
Slide.
Surf.
There's just so much to talk about in all of the different pictures, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every page has so much to talk about. Swing, snacks, slippers,
yeah.
Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah, sidewalk talk, snacks, sun, yep.
Even with the young audience, you start making that sound with them with the keiki, and they pick it up.
Yeah, my 2-year-old
surf shorts.
Surf shorts, yes. See, I think we never even got.
I never did shoreline or surf shorts. Yeah, snacks. So
sippy cup, yeah, totally.
And some parents are really good at taking a book and coming up with questions along the way and really taking advantage of every page and every illustration to teach. Others
does it for you.
Others need some help, and they're like, my brain, I'm just focused on the text, and they don't really think outside the box, or they're too tired. They've had a long day. So that's why the kilo, it's really there for the reader to just have that extra engagement with the child and take the work out of it. Shadow.
Wow.
Yes. Excellent.
Oh, way more than you even thought.
I know.
The group think, the collective genius. I love
But
it.
see, there's almost like no right or wrong answers to a
Smart.
lot of this. And there's a lot of open questions, open-ended questions.
Because sometimes you can come from,
And
right?
that's all dialogic reading strategies that we're trying to get families to understand. You don't have to read word by word. You can talk about the pictures in a book. And we're hoping every single family will find something they can relate to, right? Maybe not every single place, but they'll find
Yes.
something that they actually do.
And especially for the keiki to find themselves.
Yeah, the
This,
mirror.
I mean, look at this page and look at what an excellent job Nicki did. These kids, none of them look the same, right? Their unique features, the hair, the texture, the eye shape, that was the goal, that cultural, the visual, like want to find themselves. And my girls have found themselves and they open the book and they fly to the page and like, this is me. And they find their friends. Like it's very important to them to see themselves, just like the woman in the video was
Yeah,
talking
the
about.
mirrors.
So, yeah. All right, at Ma'alaya Harbor, we observe whitecaps out at sea. This means the trade winds are blowing in nicely. Visitors wear ponile as the crew hoist the sails. It's an excellent day to search for dolphins and whales. Kilo, what things on this page have one syllable or two syllables? A couple of things to note about this page of the book. One is the diversity of our island and the trade winds, the weather patterns here. All of us know what it's like to experience the trade winds. They are strong. They come almost every single day to our island. And I think it's important that the kids know when they look out at the ocean, they can tell what is happening with the weather. They can see the white caps, and what does that equate to? The trade winds are here and they're blowing in the afternoon. So that was something, a diverse part of Maui that I wanted them to learn. They should know those things. And also the syllables, love that Tracy just trying to embed the education. My 5-year-old did not know what a syllable was until this page. But she got it. And then she wanted to start reading, okay, dolphin, right? Okay, that's 2 syllables. And visitor, well, that's 3. Lay, 1. And I'm talking about the pony.
Oh, pony.
Because
Yeah.
this is a cute.
Yeah, one of my good friends, he does, he's fluent in Olelo, which I am not. But we were, he was our little cultural and language consultant. And we were like, pony was originally going to be our word for it. We were going to use it for kalo and poi at the farm and things. And he goes, oh no, can I use pony for poi? That's Barney Purple. And so we're like, oh, okay. So we had to try to think like, well, what is Barney Purple that's like on our island? And we all
It's not a
immediately,
soft purple.
it's a Barney Purple. So we're like, oh, well, the orchid lays that
The visitors
all the
wear.
visitors get. And so that's kind of, and we're like, well, we should include tourism in some capacity of this book. It's very much a part of our day-to-day lives. So yeah, so anyway, that's our little pony. Now you know, pony, Barney Purple.
We marvel at Nicki's illustrations
Oh
here.
goodness.
Look at this. Work of excellence.
We admire giant Kalake'okeo sharks safely at the Maui Ocean Center, open daily. They're seahorses, unicorn fish, and octopus too. It's our Hawaii marine life with an up-close view. The kilo, how many sharks do you see? How many of the other fish can you count? So this one was a fun page. This is our only activity that actually costs money, unfortunately.
Well, and how
Oh, haleakala too, I guess, but yeah. So so it was a fun page to illustrate just because we all know, baby sharks are famous in my house. But I also was working, I wanted to include the Hawaiian names for some of these sea animals. And then the other thing is they can count because I was trying to be intentional. There's 1 grouper down at the bottom. There's 2 stingrays, 3 unicorn fish, there's 4 sharks, there's 5 ulua, there's 6 of the Mempachi or the U'u, and then there's 7 yellow tang, the Lau'ipala. So it's just kind of a fun way if they are counting. So we wanted to make sure how many other fish can you count. It's a way to kind of, you know, work on their numbers and quantity. And yeah, so, and then there's a little hiding octopus and seahorse, because we actually consulted with Maui Ocean Center on this page about the species that were present, and wanted to make sure that we weren't putting species in the tank that wouldn't normally be there. So we had to somehow put octopus. And anyway, so yeah, but they were really great with us trying to figure out a way to make it accurate, but also, yeah.
Well, I will, because we said this is the only page where it costs money to go to this location, but you know, 3 and under are free. So it's just the adult.
I think it's 4 and under.
4 and under. Amazing. It's a really good deal. Then it's $80, I think, for $67 maybe for the year for an annual pass. They make it affordable. Come on. 3 and under.
3 and under. Oh, okay,
Thank you,
shucks.
Daniela. Okay, so we had to incorporate the farms. In the lush O Maui Valley of Uluwatu, the farmers help us pound poi and pick ripe ulu. Kilo, malama aina means to care for and nurture the land. What are some examples of malama aina in this picture? So for those of you who do not know, many do not, Maui Cultural Lands takes people every Saturday into the valleys to harvest, to weed, to restore
The lo'i in the walls.
the walls, the stone walls, the lo'i patches. It's fantastic. Things for families to do together and to care for, to malama aina the land. Maui Cultural Lands also will share the history. They'll share how our kupuna like farmed and utilized the land in so many different ways. And they sent us photos of their staff taking people to young kids and different groups to do these things, and Nicki got them perfectly. Like these men in the neon, that's exactly what they look like. So pretty cool that that's available to us.
It's free, and it's also available for groups to go as well. So if you're ever looking for like a staff development project or something, you just email them and then set up a work day, and it's a really fun and informative and accessible activity that not a lot of people know about. So
Yeah, Maui Cultural Lands is their name. So anyways, some examples of malama aina in the picture. Anybody want to chat in what they see going on? There's like 4 or 5.
well, with this group, there's probably 20 because they see things we didn't make.
I know, shadow.
Yeah.
So weeding, harvesting, watering. That was some of them. Composting.
Even utilizing things from the aina, so making the poi, and it's all part of malama, because if you don't use those things, then it's a big motivator to tend to those things now that you're using them and they have application in your life. So yeah, I say making poi is malama aina. Malama everybody.
All right, go to the next one.
All right, so at Launeopoko Beach Park, akala balloons fill the air as we sing Hau'oli La Hanau with all my ohana there. So the kilo is always fun. This is my 2-year-old's favorite song, is Happy Birthday. So can you sing Happy Birthday in Hawaiian? And we have the words there for them. And yeah, this was a really fun page to also explore diversity. Because as we, Maui, Hawaii is a melting pot. And we actually featured a family that we are friends with here, and they adopted. So the husband is from Saipan, the wife is from Pennsylvania, and they adopted this little girl from Georgia?
Missouri.
Missouri? Anyway.
But she's African-American, and they're just the most
And
beautiful
that's an
family.
ohana, and
Yeah.
and it's just the way that families on Maui can, they're diverse,
And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so that was one of our our goals on this page. And I've had people come up and say, "That is my tutu. Like that's my tutu."
Oh, we've had Tutu say, "That's me.
That's
I'm
me."
on that page."
Yeah. It's fun.
And the pony,
Yeah.
the pony dress.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next there's the dog. Every page has an animal, remember. In the bright, cold, blue sky of Lahaina town, that hot sun is always shining down. So we order tasty shave ice by the sea and seek shade under the banyan tree. Again, the diversity of Maui, we live in the microclimates that you can find here. We all know Lahaina, that name means cruel sun. So we wanted to incorporate in the text, in the bright, cold blue sky, the hot sun is always shining down in Lahaina town. And then the kilo here, can you find opposites? Hiki love opposites. So anyways, the opposites here, we thought maybe a little challenging. So we just decided to put in all the opposites that Nicki illustrated. Big, small, young, old, happy, sad. If you can see the boy, one of the boys' ice cream fell on the ground, so he's not too happy. And then one of the girls is playing ukulele for a friend, so she's making noise, the other one's being quiet. Okay, next one.
Okay, ladies, we're 5 minutes more.
Okay, we'll cruise through these last ones. Ho'okipa Beach is lots of fun. There's truly something for everyone. The ele rocks protect us from surf and create calm tide pools, perfect hiki perf. So FUN spells fun. What would happen if we change the first letter to R? What about S? Can you find examples of these words in the picture? So
the animal here is the great
honu.
sea turtle.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, nice. Cold ice cream, hot sun. Like it. And this is the last location at Kipuhulu. We pitch our tents, count the stars to our heart's content. Without the mahina, the sky looks uli uli, which is dark. Good night, Maui. We love you truly. Kilo, the mahina moon changes shape every night. Take a look outside tonight and describe what shape you see. Or it is, okay, so that's the last one. And then the following page is our color key. So for if the parents didn't know what ai, what color that was, clear. There's the key in the back. And then Nicki also put up a map of Maui and starred every spot that we selected. So the keiki can kind of have some fun, the older audience, finding each of those spots. And yeah, the extra fun, the Ohana adventure. So again, our hope is that families are going to utilize the book to create new experiences and enjoy the island in maybe ways they haven't before. So that's the Ohana Adventures checklist. Next page, a little bit about Maui Family Support Services, a little bit about Nicki and myself. And then the very last page, if you scroll down, is where you can purchase our book and our other 2 books as well. The end.
Mahalo.
Thank you, ladies. So I know we're running out of time here. And Vi, if we can go back to the presentation. So as you can see, the book has so much in it that can be used in so many different ways, right? And so some of the questions I have is like, did you see diverse families reflected in the book? I know we kind of gave you the answers, right? Because we kind of showed you the different diversity of families, but did you see it? It wasn't obvious in the book. Do you think children will see themselves in the book? And is this book culturally relevant? So feel free to shout out thoughts or put it in the chat. And because we would really like your feedback on that. And then if we can go on to connecting again to the protective factors. And I uploaded the presentation and some of resources that I guess you guys will have access to later. But this is how to get the protective factors from the Ho'oikaika partnership. Next slide with the protective factors. Did you guys see protective factors in the book? Yes, no, not really. Please put it in the chat. Knowledge of parenting and child development, parental resilience, social connections, concrete supports for families, social and emotional competence in children, nurturing and attachment. And as you can see, there's a lot of intention in every page of the book. And next slide. I think we're like at the end. So that's some of the protective factors, again, that you'll have access to. Next slide. We want all Maui families to be strong, right? And here's some contact information. And then the last slide, I think, is the how to get the books, because I know a lot of people were like, okay, well, how do we get the book? And Vi, do we have time for the wheel? Because we have some books to give away.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
And
No,
while Vi is
that's
getting that ready,
2:45. See then.
we have some books. She's going to do the wheel for some random drawing for the books. And I lost my train of thought. Oh, I know a lot of you may be thinking, oh, let's do a book about Molokai. Let's do a book about Lanai, or, you know, another type of book, because I think doing this book has generated a lot of ideas for a lot of people. Please keep in mind, if you do work on a book with your group or whatever, try to include the protective factors. So we're all talking about making Maui families strong. And I think if we all come from that perspective, we'll produce a lot of good literature out there for young children.
Okay, I think I have, okay, I'm gonna share the screen again. I have the wheel up.
And if you guys have any questions, just drop it in the chat and we can get back to you. And if your name comes up, please put your address, your name and address in the chat, unless like you know how to get to me already.
Tracy, can you see the wheel okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay, perfect. So just
It's
let me
kind
know
of,
when, or is it?
it's kind of spinning. It says click to spin.
Oh yeah, it's just gonna spin by itself and then I gotta click it and then it'll do the whole like Wheel of Fortune thing. Are you ready for the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's that?
Oh,
Kule.
she was a presenter too. I think she is on here. Do we see her on the list? Let me see.
Kule, are you there? Put your address in the chat to me, please.
Oh, she must have left, Tracy. I don't see her on the participants list on
Okay.
now.
Okay. I guess go to the next one.
Okay. It's because she's doing the keynote. Hold on.
Oh, because we're like after time already.
No, you're okay. You're okay. Yeah.
Who is that? It's all blurry on my screen.
I pronounce it Sinel.
I don't think she's here.
She's not here either. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna close that one, Tracy.
Okay.
Oh, Kupono's on here.
Okay, Kupono. You get a free book.
Mhm.
Just let me know how to get it to you. Okay, got it.
Mahalo nui. Those books were amazing.
Mahalo.
Thank you. Honored to be here today. Thank you, everybody, for showing up.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful Thursday. Enjoy the
Tracy,
rest of the conference.
Is that the only one, Tracy? Are we gonna close the wheel?
No, we got lots
Okay,
of
go.
books.
Okay. Oh, I should have removed the names that were already called. Sorry. Crystal. Oh, Crystal's not on here either.
Okay, remove their name.
So sorry.
Okay, who is still here? I can't see the names on the wheel.
I still, well, I don't think anybody has left here. Let me see if I can. I'm sorry. Let me take this one off.
I know we're kind of going
Just keep
over.
spinning till we find somebody that's here.
Okay, so how about, okay,
How
I'm
many
going through the list of
participants are there?
people. Cindy Sawyer, please put your
Hmm.
name and address to me in the chat box. I'll get you a book. Regina, I know how to get to you. Nita, I know how to get to you. Malia, put your name and your address in the box. And Marciel Pualani, if you could put your name and address in the box. Lisa, I think that's Lisa Nita. I know how to get to her. Kupona got a book. Rolene, Cosma, if you want to put your name and address and how to get to you in the chat. And Wina. And do we have this Danielle, Irene, Castle, and Inaone? I think we can get books to all of you. Thank you for staying all the way to the end, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, ladies. I'll also save the chat with all of their addresses. So I'll save the chat once everyone clears out, and then I can go ahead and email that to you so you guys have that for the address.
And contact us if you have any questions. Thank you, everybody.
Aloha.
Thank you, ladies.
Bye,
Awesome,
guys.
awesome
Thank
presentation.
you.
Mahalo.
Hello. Bye-bye.
Mahalo, everyone.